Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 30 of What If Naruto Was a Badass Genius. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also stay in tune because I'm going to be posting a new episode of What If Izuna Uchiha was Naruto's ancestor. And I'm also going to be posting a new episode of What If Naruto was from the two greatest clans, so stay tuned for that. And over on Anime King 2, I've already posted a new episode of What If Naruto is a Smart Prodigy. So go ahead and enjoy that, guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you're hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
The last time we left off, Sasuke came up with a proposition shocking Naruto as he told Naruto that he is willing to move the Uchiha clan as he would move them towards the Uzu Islands that was destroyed. If the Uzumaki clan is going to be reformed, they would have no problem living there. As Naruto was thinking about something like that, but he knew that Tsunade wouldn't go with that. Perhaps he could just teleport all of them there in one night. And then what? What could she do about it? After all the people get settled in. As he just wanted to know how would the people of village react, seeing that the entire Uchiha clan compound is just gone. Naruto then spent the rest of the time training with Ino, as he made her accompany him towards the sand. Getting there, Naruto went to talk to Temari, as things have not been pleasant with him or either of his sand siblings. He then came here to talk to Gaara, just her, as he invited her, so they could talk sometimes. And with that he left with Ino, as he went back home, as he told his mother that Ino will be coming at dinner tonight, as she was happy to hear that. She didn't want him doing something like cheating on Yujito with Ino, but Ino was her daughter's friend, and she has known the girl ever since she was a baby, so she didn't have anything against her and she actually liked her. Karin was then brought to the village by Sai, as she was brought to Tsunade, as Tsunade told Karin that she wanted every information about Orochimaru's base and his hideouts, as there must be some people who has been taken away from their home and is suffering in those bases, and she wished to free them all, as she wanted to know everything that Orochimaru has been up to ever since he left Konoha. Seeing that the man is dead now, he still has some things that could prove fatal to the ninja world if they don't go unchecked. As Karin simply nodded, as she wouldn't face herself with this woman. She was a Kage of the village after all. They then met up with Yujiro, as Karin wondered who was this Naruto. If he was their age, why was he dating an old hag? As Yujiro eyebrow twitched, how dare this girl call her an old hag just because she's younger than her? She's not the old hag, Mikoto is. As she wondered what the girl's gonna think when she finds out about Mikoto. As Kushina invited them all inside, as she was happy to meet a full-fledged Uzumaki with red hair, seeing that Naruto was basically just half, his father being a Namikaze. As she then was taken towards the bath, as she took a bath and got herself warmed up and put on some new fresh clothes, but they didn't fit her all that too well because they were Yujiro's clothes. So Kushina decided to take her shopping. As Karin then got scared as she felt something coming towards her room. It was Naruto as she met him for the first time, as Kushina told her not to mind him as they went out shopping. So yeah guys, that was basically last point left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what is it we begin this new episode? We begin this episode at the Hidden Rain. Jiraiya was staring down the streets of the Hidden Rain from the tallest tower, as it was actually well developed and not depending on any other village for economic or military support. His students that he had trained a long time ago has improved this village well. You're thinking way too much, Jiraiya-sensei, Pain said, as he walked towards him, along with Konan. Jiraiya has been spending time in the village. Sometime he went out drinking and returned drunk, or sometime he just sat there, looking at the streets. I have always preached peace in my days, looking for ways shinobis can understand each other through mutual means and stop this cycle of hatred. But I've never been able to find solution. I failed and find the answer, as I have failed in so many things in my life. But while I have failed, I still believe that Naruto will work out something that will find peace. I am sure of it. You have so much faith in him. Do you think he can find the answer you will never able to find, Sensei Naruto asked. Naruto think different from me. I did train him at some point, but he does not carry any teaching. He is self-made and he built his own power to protect his loved ones. His methods are different, but I believe for the sake of peace in the ninja world, he will find a way to bring it for his family. Before Nagato could say anything, a voice spoke. You speak of peace in this world. So much blood has been shed in this world, and so many innocent has died. For this, there is only one option. We must end everything and create a new world. I never told you of my true plan with the Beijus. We will be able to create a new world of perfection. A world where everything is right and your dream come true, Obito said after appearing out of nowhere. But you will no longer have the plan to collect all the Beijus, Nagato. Because of the decision you have made, I will show you that peace can never be achieved in this world. Very soon we will see war. Small things can bring this nation to war. I will plant those seeds. Do you think we will allow you to do that, Madara? Nagato said. I have already started everything in action, and it is just for the wheel to turn in my favor right now. Don't worry, soon enough you will see this world destroy itself. And with that he vanished. Jiraiya frowned after the man vanished. War. That was just ridiculous. What was he going to do to bring war to the elemental nation? I knew that he would come back, Nagato said. We must take action before he plunges world into chaos. Should we hunt him down? Asked Konan. No, he will come back, and we will be ready for when he comes. I will head out to Konoha to warn them about this. I will try to get some valuable intel on his movements, said Jiraiya. Time skip. Right now Obito has a plan in his head. Since Naruto was the one who was the biggest threat, the one who Nagato was counting on for peace, he would just focus on that, usher him to the dark side by ruining his reputation, as he was just watching in enjoyment how the blonde would react to that, as he was currently in the cloud, watching the two-tailed Jinchuriki. He was going to take the Jinchuriki and blame it on the Akatsuki. Of course this wouldn't spill anything, but he was going to leave the fact that Naruto and Jiraiya were both friends of the Akatsuki. Since Nagato and Konan were the Sandaime former students, it wouldn't be impossible to say that Konoha was behind the attack through the Akatsuki and was trying to get power to loom over all the other nations. The Hokage was a man who was quick to anger, but the two tails alone won't do. Someone much closer to him will have to do. It didn't have to be successful, the attack just had to happen from the Akatsuki. Have you found the Hatsubi Jinchuriki? As Zetsu appeared, yes. He's by the village. I will take the two tails. You stand by watching the Hatsubi, said Obito. Time skip. At Konoha, you have a rather stern look on your face. I would say you're plotting something deep, Mikoto said. Standing by the entrance of Naruto's study, her hands folded across her chest. Something wrong? Naruto looked up. I'm trying to figure things out. I used to make calculated moves, but recent weeks has forced things to change in my planning, he said. She came in and sat down. What brought you here, Naruto asked. Before I became pregnant, would you ask that question, she asked. My main concern would be that there was people in the compound. It would have been incredible to sneak around the house now with someone who has eyes in the back of their head. Mikoto raised her eyebrow. Who? Karen. Unless I seal away my chakra, I can't really hide from her. Well, at least this house is warded, so she can't know when I'm here, when I'm in certain rooms, Naruto said. As Mikoto thought about those naughty days she used to sneak around with him, she had really felt alive in those days. If she had to be honest, she wasn't pleased when Kushina said she could no longer see Naruto. Well, at least things wasn't so bad now. Time skip. Hokage's office. As Naruto was summoned there, something had to be happening bad, because when the envoy came to him, he didn't budge, even though he told the envoy that he will be there in a couple of minutes. The envoy waited. As Naruto entered, what is it, he asked. As he saw the look on her face, she definitely had something on her mind. I thought that you were just looking into Kiri, and I was okay with that because I could gain something from that relationship. I did warn me about your plotting, but I didn't think that she would play along. I thought if I did so it would caution both of you, but it has not. What is this I heard about May coming and is looking to ask for your request to go towards the stone? I know that this is only a way for her to take you into the village. As Naruto thought, the old man, Oniki, probably thought that Kira was too small to call him for a meeting, so he demanded them come to him. Well, that wasn't unexpected from what he heard about the man. But how was he about to go about things now? May was already on the way, and this woman in front of him was just sitting with the request. The fact that she didn't tell him when it came, it meant that she probably thought of refusing it. She might really refuse it completely if she didn't get the answer that she needed. He decided to sit down before answering. I was not aware that things had came to this point. I don't really have any reason to trust what you say to me at the moment, said Tsunade. If May wanted to hide something from you, why would she bother requesting my services from you? I have no reason to lie. I didn't know that she was coming to the village. In case you missed it, I have been sorting out my personal issues, Naruto said. It does not change. You have been planning to meet with the stone leader. If things had gone your way, you would have done it without even talking to me. I cannot deny that, but it appears that May have other ideas. At least I can trust her to be honest with me. I don't like it when you underhand my positions and do things behind my back. I don't care if it benefits Konoha in some way or not, but next time you do something like this, I won't accommodate it. Regardless of who you are, I'm still the Hokage, and you will not do as you please in this village. Do you understand me, Uzumaki? She asked. Crystal, Naruto said. Good, said Tsunade. Prepare yourself for departure. She will spend the night here, and you will also escort her back to Kira once business has been handled. I want to know everything that concerns Konoha when you return. If it is any of your shady business, do not do it with a leaf headband on. If you do anything that might bring dispute, you will cease to be a shinobi to Hidden Leaf. As Tsunade know that the stone and Konoha has bad history, if Naruto did something right now, it could probably cause war, as Oniki was not a rational man when it comes to the village of the Hidden Leaf. Especially Minato Namikaze, and who is Naruto's father. That would just make the situation 1,000,000 times worse. Tsunade sighed, I'm not threatening you or anything, Naruto. But I'm the Hokage and I have to do what is best for Konoha, not you. Maybe you might not want war, but there are certain things you can't do right now, and if you do it, they will cause war. You should rest easy, Naruto said. If May sent you the letter, then she will talk to you when she get here. The reason I wish to speak to someone in the stone anyway. Well, it's pointless explaining things to you right now. Do you have anything else that you want, Naruto asked. Tsunade was irritated by he didn't answer why did May want to bring him there, as she knew she couldn't believe anything that he said. Without May not being here, she trusted the woman, but Naruto just made her feel uncomfortable, and she didn't know when he was telling the exact truth or twisting it around. May will probably notice it, but that extra measure of security, I have already sent a squad of Anju ahead. A message to the stone has been sent to inform them that May would be bringing you along. This is just for damage control. I don't want you shocking them with your appearance. That will be all, she said. Naruto nodded as he disappeared from the office. As Tsunade sighed deeply and leaned on the chair, she closed her eyes, as she just hoped that everything goes off well. Moments later, Uchiha compound. Naruto said that he would teach them, said Mikoto. I wasn't expecting to refuse, said Sasuke. It makes a good case for the future between our two clans. The way you speak about him, you're never gonna let it go, are you? Naruto betrayed my trust. I will never forgive him for that, Sasuke said. I am going to speak to the Hokage regarding the clan future, and your return around the table with the other clan heads. I can sort that out, Mikoto said. You're growing, Sasuke. Have you considered getting a girlfriend? I know you're too young to marry, but getting to know girls would at least ease my worries, she said. What do you mean by that, mother? Sasuke asked. Just take an interest in girls, Sasuke, said Mikoto. About an hour later, as May immediately saw that Tsunade was not in a good mood, as she knew the exact reason why. I hope you received the letter of my request, May said, as she probably thought it was best to just get down to the business at hand. Tsunade stared at her before giving a nod, as she sighed tiredly, as she wondered if Naruto was planning something like this. What more else can he be planning? I did receive it and I did spoke to Naruto about an hour ago about it. But I want to understand things. I want to hear it from you before I let him go. May really thought that Tsunade was worrying too much. No doubt she was holding on because she thought that Naruto was plotting something sinister. And even if he wasn't, he was doing something not pleasant behind her back. But even if he was, what could she do about it? There was no one who can control Naruto unless you have some powerful genjutsu that can manipulate him. Words, no. He didn't even like doing someone bitten. If you worry that Naruto will do something to cause conflict with other hidden villages, you should not. His only goal right now is trying to get the other elemental nations to cooperate. As things stand, every man is for himself and no one really cares about what happened in any other villages. And Naruto is trying to change that. Tsunade looks straight into Mei's eyes. She understands what the Mizukage was saying, but she has some tough thoughts in her head. As Tsunade knows the kind of danger Naruto posed, but she also understood he could be a huge benefit to Konoha if things go off carefully. But she really didn't want him to just do something that could set off a single error. They were walking on a flat board, and it was simply made of ice. Any wrong move and it would just crack from a single wrong action from Naruto. But don't worry, said Mei with a soft smile. I know that in his eyes, to get what he wants, he will do anything, to even go overboard. I think I can watch over him though. We have already have a special relationship, and I know I can watch over him. I can keep him from turning to the other side, and to not become something no one's like. As Tsunade narrowed her eyes, why would she say this so confidently? As far as I know, there's only one person that can make Naruto stop instantly, and that is his mother, Kushina. Kushina can interfere up to that level, but she always let her son handle things how he wanted. It's simple really, Mei said. Once you get used to him and are able to hold a good conversation with him, you can learn how his mind works. I have spent time with him and I can see that he's a curious person, and I'm interested in being a bit closer to him. Mei said that sly smile. As Tsunade narrowed her eyes at Mizukage, that person has a girlfriend, impregnating another woman, cancel her marriage agreement with the Kazekage's sister, Tsunade said. Mei was honestly surprised. She didn't know that Naruto had so many activities in his life, his personal life. He really didn't appear to be a person who had that kind of number of women in his life. Well, what do you know? You can never tell anything about a shinobi's life. He cancelled that marriage. If that was something of a political nature, should that come from you? She asked. It was actually a contract between the fourth Kazekage and Naruto's mother. As the saying was, if they did not end up liking each other, they could terminate at any time. I had no saying in it, said Tsunade. But if you think you can keep Naruto from doing something dangerous, I will trust him in your care, but I will not stop being cautious. Doing so would be a mistake, Mei said. Does this mean we can have a safe journey to the stone with your blessing? Tsunade sighed. Just keep an eye on him, she said. If you need to rest, I can have Shizune show you to the hotel. If you feel you have the energy, I can have someone show you around the village. I think for now I just want to rest. I will go out a bit later. You see much more of the village in the night. Is there a chance I can see Naruto, she asked. That will depend on him, Tsunade said. Mei smiled. I will see him then, she said. Tsunade narrowed her eyes. What makes you so confident you will? Is there something even happening between the both of you? You will forgive me for asking, but with Naruto you can never rule out anything. Mei laughed at the question. There's nothing, he just excites me, she said. Later that day, you're getting sentimental, Uchiha said to Naruto, as Naruto was lying on the rooftop with his eyes staring at the starry night, as she came and lied down next to him. Perhaps, but don't you agree our life has taken a different twist that we would have not expected? Well, while I was just ignorant of something happening between you and Mikoto, other things have happened that I did not expect. But we are adapting well, although it's just a few of us. You can tell everyone you have a clan to worry about now, Uchiha said. I do have my fears though. What fears, Naruto asked. That you will be taken away from me by other people around us, she said. Have you thought that it would not be outrageous for you to lock with Karin just for the sake of preserving the Uzumaki blood? As things stand, the only way the clan will grow will be through you and her. That was a possibility, and there was rather nowhere on the issue, were there? He really had to think through things, but for the betterment of the clan, there was a bridge he has to cross. The only issue is, if Karin was willing to go through with it, she was stubborn and trying to convince her would be difficult. We would have to get Karin to agree with it, Naruto said. Which isn't going to happen anytime soon, Uchiha said. But you're still teenagers. Probably when you grow into your early 20s, she will come to like you. She wanted to add that maybe around that time, they will be having a child of their own. But she didn't want to push things. As long as she was conscious of it, she didn't have to worry about anything. Naruto will catch on to it soon. I know, Naruto said. But he then crawled over on top of Yujito. But in the meantime, I have you to think about. You know, I never thought I would feel emotion while holding you in this position or in bed. It used to just be warmth from another human, but now there is something swelling in my heart. Uchiha smiled as she grabbed him with her hand as she pulled him close into her chest. "Well, this is getting good," said Jiraiya as he appeared, as he was walking up to the both of them. "I wouldn't mind you go along while I study piece of this for my research," he said. But as he turned towards Naruto, "We need to talk, alone." Uchiha groaned loudly. While she recognized the seriousness in his voice, she wasn't happy with his timing. "I'm not going anywhere, you know," Naruto said. "You should head to our room. I will talk to you once I'm finished with Jiraiya." After saying that, he got up and helped her stand. She then sighed as she turned towards Jiraiya. "Have a better timing next time, Jiraiya-sama." Jiraiya smiled. "Next time I won't even tell of my presence." Uchiha clearly understood. He meant watching them get dirty. This was what he was known for, so she wasn't surprised by that. She then turned towards Naruto as she gave him a kiss and then walked away. Once she was gone, Naruto created a clone that was pumped with a lot of his chakra. Even if he gets stabbed, it won't poof away, it will just bleed. It need to be special. Naruto then nodded to the clone as the clone went off. "Follow me, Jiraiya," Naruto said. As Naruto and Jiraiya went towards the Hokage's monument, sitting on Sarutobi's head. "You lied to Uchiha. The clone's gonna be with her all night. But the question is, where are you going to be? I have an important guest I need to entertain tonight before we head out tomorrow towards the stone." "What is it that is so important you had to run all the way back to Konoha?" Naruto asked. "The masked Madara is declaring war. I don't know what he's planning to do, but he said he has planted the seeds for war. I know he wasn't joking, and this is something we cannot allow, Naruto. On my way back, I tried to find out what he might be doing to make this a reality. I don't know if it's correct or not, but I've heard that Akatsuki attacked Kumo, took the two-tailed Jinchuriki, and although attacking the Raikage's brother, failed to catch him. Regardless of what we do now, there is already damage done," Naruto said. "The only thing left to do is to eliminate him. Once we do that, we lessen the damage. If Akatsuki attacked Kumo, then Nagato would be getting blamed for it. That man was truly planting war, and it will come straight back to him and Jiraiya, and Konoha will take the blunt of the damage. And the Raikage with his emotional state would demand that Konoha return his Jinchuriki, and if Konoha couldn't do that because they didn't have it, it will just cause bloodshed. It will be a tricky situation, and the only way to solve it is to eliminate that fake Madara. This was going to also cause a huge rift between him and Tsunade, because she told him, as he now see these conflicts and his talk with the Akatsuki, especially Nagato, was causing him a huge problem. And Tsunade already told him that this came back to haunt them. He would throw him under the bus. And what about Konoha villagers' reaction to all of this? If Tsunade does throw him under the bus, and the Raikage demand war, the villagers would want him to leave. And he has never been good for anything other than misfortunate. They still kind of hate him, so we wouldn't think wise that they would beg for him to stay or anything like that. "I see, you have come to the same conclusion I have," Jiraiya said, seeing Naruto in deep thought. "I have yet to speak to Tsunade, but I know she won't be happy to learn about this. There is going to be a tough choice if the Akatsuki is connected right back to us. It is going to be connected right back to us, Jiraiya. If you don't want the elemental nations to head into war. Attacking Kumo is still not going to be enough though. That man know about us though. He know that you train Nagato and Konan. And the only way to plant that seed of destruction, the seed of war, is to leak that information to Kumo. The stone will also be involved into this. If they catch wind of this before I get there, that will be dangerous on my part. There is a possibility that he can also whisper something into Oniki's ear. Mei must delay her trip to the stone for a little bit until we get a hand on things." He was talking to himself more than Jiraiya. "I will leave you to handle Tsunade. Right now I have plans to get rid of that man. But since this is forced, I will be forced to take a different route." "Are you sure you can handle it, Naruto?" asked Jiraiya. "I am not suicidal, Jiraiya. I have great plans in the working, and this can ruin everything. From what I foresee, it threatens everything I am working on. Should this village stone and Kumo turn on me, I will be forced into defensive. And you really don't want that kind of situation," Jiraiya, Naruto spoke in a dark tone as he stood up. The tone, it brought a chill down Jiraiya's spine as he could not ask anything about it. He just watched as Naruto stood up and disappeared, without a word leaving his lips. As Jiraiya always knew that there was a darkness in Naruto's heart, but this didn't make him evil. Naruto was just fed up with his plans, and this Madara is going to ruin everything. At least they have time to act before the Raikage does ruin everything. Moments later, Mei's hotel. Mei was dressed and ready to go around the village, as she has already sent her message towards Naruto. As Mei then heard the door open, she then came to a stop. "Naruto," she said. Is everything okay? It's because the look on his face was rather dark. The guards outside are under a genjutsu, and this place is warded with silence and seal. If I wanted to murder you now, I could, and just go sleep next to you jail, or at the Uchiha compound, Naruto said. And what gives you that thought, she said, folding her arms across her chest. This is just something someone can do, Naruto said. I imagine if something like that does happen, Konoha will take the heat. I'm sorry, I can't entertain you tonight. Something has come up. Upon hearing that, she walked over to him as she looked into his eyes. He wasn't the same Naruto who appeared in Kira, he was different somehow, and she can't define it. And a part of him seemed open up. For the first time I've come to know you, this is the first time you seem open to me. But I can't tell one thing going on inside your head. What has come up, she asked. There are things I didn't tell you because it can prove tricky if I did told you and you did find out in certain ways. You see, there was a criminal organization who was formed by Jiraiya, former students who he thought had died, but we stopped them and managed to get them to see the light. You must have heard of the Akatsuki. That is the organization. There was apparently a mastermind behind the Akatsuki. He attacked Kumo, taking one of the Jinjulkis and nearly taking the Raikage's brother. This is his response into being betrayed, and now he wants to start a war. I wanted to avoid it, but I guess he wants to show us that his world is already ready to war at any time. Should it come to the Raikage to have connection to the Akatsuki, what do you think will happen? May frowned upon hearing that, but this could be solved. He just needs to show the Raikage that the man was acting on his own who attacked Kumo. What are your thoughts, she asked. I don't really have a good history with the Raikage. Last time I went to Kumo I insulted him. The leader of the Akatsuki leads the reign. Now I want to move over to the stone. That is the thoughts you will be thinking, and he get really emotional when it comes to his brother. And if he think that Konoha want to expand and control the other nations, he will act. Even if he doesn't say about Konoha and blame me, Oniki will soon get on the act as well. And his suspicions will even grow seeing you being accompanied by me. If those two conspire together and go after the reign, there will be bloodshed. If they demand my head to protect Konoha from war, and facing both Kumo and the stone, Tsunade will be forced to sacrifice me. As the Hokage, your duty is to protect Konoha. The villagers will surely be happy when I get exiled from the village, especially the villagers. What do you think will happen after that? They will hunt you, she said. Yes, and I won't stand down. I will fight back. And when I fight back, it means destruction. Perhaps I overestimate my abilities, but when it comes to a point, if Kumo want my head, if either them or me, I will fight back. And in such a scenario, I will put all my efforts, everything I have, and I will wipe out Kumo. Naruto understood if he killed the Raikage and some people, they would suffer now. But the hatred was passed down into the younger generation, so he will make sure he slaughter everyone, every single people, doesn't matter who. So reducing the village into ashes, solve all threats right there and then. To me, this was turned out to be a difficult situation. She expected a happy night, but no, the world could be plunged into war by the leader of the Akatsuki. I don't want to be known as the one who erased our entire hidden village, me. If I do it to one, I can do it to another. I have a family, and I will do everything to protect them. I also have a child coming. I don't want that child growing up to be a target of people with evil intention towards me. May really need a drink, but she had to be sober through all of these. Surprised that Naruto said he was going to be a father, but that wasn't the biggest thing right now. Come here, she said. Let me hold you for a while to calm yourself, and then we will discuss the way forward, she said. The following morning, good morning, May greeted Naruto. What kind of person was he? His girlfriend was lying in bed with a clone, and here he was resting in Mizukage's bosom. He shook his head. He had to come here. Yuji has never seen this side of him, well, anything much deeper, and there was no drawback or holdback with the Mizukage. If she chose to hate him or do anything against him though, he could always get her in order by using Shisui's eye. Once more, he shook his head. How could he have such dark thoughts about a woman who just comforted him? He was such a corrupted person. Morning, Miner, says he sit up. I have to head back home. Before you leave, I want to know what you're planning to do from now on, and I want to offer some suggestions. First step is to erase a nuisance. I don't know what will happen if the Raikage come knocking. I don't know how Konoha will respond, but I have to get rid of the problem and retrieve Kumo, Jinjulke. Nevertheless, how would the Raikage react to that? will be defining my next move. I cannot even attend your visit to the stone. As you said, that is something we have to put on hold. I will write to Onki and give him my reasons. He is old and stubborn, but if I tell him what he needs to know, he will surely understand. Well, at least I hope he will, she said. I am concerned about your state of mind. What of it, Naruto asked. You cannot keep on pushing all your negative emotions at the back of your head. The day that you're pushed towards your emotional limit, it will take over you. You have to come to terms and face it. And you will discover more about yourself. I actually thought about that, Naruto said. But what happens if I lose? Moments later, your next mission is to collect all you can on the daimyo. Danger's coming, and if I cannot take the Kages, I will take the daimyos, Naruto said. Should I take Ino with me? Sai asked. No, this will be dangerous, and you're more effective on your own. I have my own journey and I will take her with me, Naruto said. I will depart immediately, Sai said. Current work with Orochimaru was conducting experiments and research, yes? Yes, Sai said. If you come across any of Orochimaru's hideouts, please take any document you can find. As he took that scrolling through that Sai, it might be useful to get turned to think about staying here. Meanwhile, Hokage's office, it was already early in the morning and Tsunade was greeted by Jiraiya, but he was serious. Something was wrong. The Akatsuki attacked Kumo and took the two-tailed Jinchuriki, said Jiraiya. He didn't have to say anything else, as Tsunade would understand the rest. After a long minute, Tsunade looked at him. Great, she said, in a sarcastic tone. He should have just left them alone after they changed, to find their own path. He should have stopped associating himself with those criminals. And now it has come back around to bite them the ass. Yesterday was something else, and today it was this. What was tomorrow going to bring her? Who did it, she said in a demand. A man who called himself Uchiha Madara. He's a Uchiha. And Naruto said that he's the same one that caused the Kyuubi rampage 17 years ago. But Naruto said that he isn't the real Madara. He won't tell me anything other than that. He wears a mask, so we can't be sure about anything. Nevertheless, he was the one who came to Nagato and manipulated him to gather the Beiju. Where's Naruto? Tsunade asked. You two are the ones with the connection with the Akatsuki. She was keeping calm, but the name of Uchiha Madara was just fearsome. There was only one person that stand before him in battle, and that was her grandfather. And if she could say, she don't think that anyone is strong enough like her grandfather in nowadays. But if Madara was alive, he's supposed to be dead by old age by now, so that was a big concern if he was immortal or something like that. I sent one of my clones after him, Jiraiya said, snapping her from her thoughts. He will join us soon. But you know him, this Uchiha said that he will start a war. Before he attacked Kumo, he said he will start a war soon. I spoke to Naruto last night, and we came to the same conclusion. If he is going to start a war, everything will eventually come back to Konoha. We don't have a good relationship with both Kumo and the stone. Tsunade went as she pulled out a bottle of sake on a saucer. As this was just getting too much. The situation was getting dangerous, and they will have a fourth war soon if it's not handled carefully. As a gust of wind and Naruto appeared in the office, he then sat down. Despite the serious situation, Jiraiya smiled. Did you entertain your guests? He asked. Naruto looked at Jiraiya with a raised eyebrow. No, he said. I was in a bad mood for entertainment. As he turned towards Tsunade, considering how serious she was in their last talk, he was surprised that she didn't launch at him. She just stared back at him. Yes? Could this be the Mizukage? She asked. Yes, Jiraiya quickly said before Naruto answered. To see that it was convenient to lie to Uchiha about it, she must have been important to Naruto, but not personally but to his plans. Tsunade narrowed her eyes. I asked her yesterday, and she denied anything happening between you two. You also deny it. Anything, if you mean the context of a romantic relationship, there's nothing going on. But I won't deny there's an attraction there. Lucky brat, mumbled Jiraiya. He was quick to get in serious matters though. You look better than last night. As Naruto looked like he was ready to murder someone last night. I had time to think, Naruto said, and calm myself. You surprised me though, he said, looking at Tsunade. I thought by now this Dex would be shattered. The thought did cross my mind. I probably have to go to a training ground to release the emotions I'm holding back now, just by seeing you here. But I just recognize that the situation is delicate, and lashing out like I did yesterday is not worth it. Jiraiya has taken you through everything then, Naruto asked. Yes, said Tsunade, as she stared at him for a long second as he just gave her that blank face. How are you going to handle this? She asked. I suggest Jiraiya head to Kumo and talk to the Hokage, or at least wait, before we get things moving. He can be reckless, but he won't be the type to just rush into war without talking to us first. In the meantime, I will speak to Nagato about dealing with that fake Madara. If we get rid of him, we stop more Jinchurikis from being taken, and we return the other Jinchurikis. Sounds fair, but I'd rather we be proactive. We don't have to wait for Kumo, we can make the contact before them. Are you sure though that you can handle the thing, she asked. Naruto nodded. I've been preparing, since I realized he was the man who destroyed a chance of a happy childhood, and the cause of my mother's suffering. I never actually thought about vengeance, or revenge, for other people, because all of those emotions have been directed towards him. Both Jiraiya and Tsunade shifted at the dark tone that Naruto used when he spoke about vengeance, but neither of them said anything about that. Naruto said Tsunade, just to make sure he was listening. I overreacted yesterday. I had time to think about things, and I saw that you came to understanding, both of us did. And I realized you have always been true to your word. Naruto shook his head. I should have told you that I was planning to form something with a stone. It is not just a stone, but with Kumo as well. It will be difficult, but we can use this as an opportunity. Jiraiya smiled. You're being positive. When are you going to talk to Nagato? Today. I will send a clone, Naruto said. I can't waste time. We don't know what that fake Madara is doing as things stand. He could be hunting other Jinchurikis or be spreading false rumor around the elemental nations. He stood up. My visit with the stone will still continue. I thought to cancel it, but I was being careless. I will say mate to IWA, but I won't engage in anything. He then looked at Tsunade firmly. I have restricted myself from lying to you. You're the leader of this village, and it is your duty to protect it. I also have family here who I need to protect. I am still a shinobi of the Hidden Leaf, and regardless that I don't have any love for this place, I will protect it, he said. Because my mother, despite what happened, she loved this place. My father risked his life for this place, and she will not abandon it, so I will fight for this village, he said. But if it does come to a point where you have to choose between me or the village safety, you will know what to do. But have no fear of retaliation from me. I will understand. Perhaps some part of me will be happy, but I will not be at peace if I am forced out. There will be no freedom. Do you understand what I have not said, he said. As Tsunade looked at him carefully, those unspoken words. Regardless, if he went to the sand, the Hokage will still send assassins after him. And he will have to be on a constant run. Run from the danger, the situation. And what would the darkness inside of him do then? The scheming, the brilliant, manipulated mind and power. Let us just say it's safe for everyone if danger is averted, she said. And I know that you will do your best to make sure the danger is averted. I won't be gone for long, he said, as he vanished. If something were to happen to Kushina, what do you think will happen? Asked Tsunade. That self-control of his will disappear. Perhaps the balance will be the child that Mikoto is carrying. Then, we must bring her closer, said Tsunade. Around 9 AM, it was a very happy morning. As Kushina looked at Karen with a smile, Yuji appeared, a smile on her face. Perhaps it was something that had to do with Naruto, but Kushina would pry. She just had a bit of concern with Karen. They had yet to discuss things, but there was no hurry. This was family now though, having breakfast. Sometimes it was just her and Naruto alone, but now they have different people here to enjoy breakfast with. But speaking of him, he wasn't here. But she wasn't complaining, that just gave her time to talk to the girls alone. She also needed to give the house a bit of a makeover. Where did Naruto go, Yuji? Well, he said something about seeing the Hokage, but it has been a while now, she said. I see, she said. As she didn't ask anything further about it though. Sai left, she asked. Yes, Yuji said. A pity. I want to know more about his relationship with Naruto. Said Yuji. Well, he's close to Naruto. I am not ignorant of Naruto's side activities. I know my son too well. But I just want him to have a friend. He doesn't have those, does he? Well, he has Sasuke and Ino. But Sasuke cannot be counted in the list of friends. And Ino is... Ino, Kushina said. Yeah, he treats Ino like a friend. He would have probably have a good relationship with the Sand siblings, but the invasion ruined everything. Sai is certainly trusted, but sometimes I can't even tell what Naruto is thinking, said Yuji. She then turned to Karin, who was silent. What is your opinion of him so far? I know you haven't been with him that long, but what can you say? Karin didn't really think about that. She wanted to continue her research, but it wasn't going to be gruesome as was when she was with Orochimaru. But doing the work was the only thing she wanted to do. If she could continue with it, she wouldn't have a problem staying here. And what did she think of that boy? Well, she didn't really have much to say about him. Nothing much. she said as she turned to Kushina. You are kind, warm, and nice. I can't believe that someone like him lives here. What do you mean someone like him? Asked Yujiro. He isn't like the both of you. He isn't kind. He's cold and frightening. Yujiro got a bit angry, but Kushina cut her off. It's fine, Yujiro. It isn't like this is false. Naruto is only kind to us. To the rest of the world, he isn't. She wasn't happy about that. It actually saddened her. But the truth is, the world can actually burn for all Naruto care, and he wouldn't move a finger to do anything. As long as they are safe. But guys, be in this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, or know what to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notifications stay posted. Remember, share this with all of your friends in your social media platform. But for now, I'm out. Peace.